Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be basically yet another update about this winter storm. And basically the fact that it's not over. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will be ratified. It says, bomb cyclone drops historic amounts of snow on southeast as snowflakes fly in Florida freeze. It says a winter storm strengthened into a bomb cyclone off the southeast coast, bringing powerful wind gusts and the most snow in decades to some areas. Hundreds of flights were canceled by the storm for the second consecutive day. Icy conditions on roads caused hundreds of accidents on roads and slowed deliveries. Roads remained treacherous after the storm passed. A record-breaking cold after the storm reached as far south as Florida, where rare snow flurried through the air. Says North Carolina governor, 2 dead from collisions during historic snowstorm. Said the record-breaking snowstorm in North Carolina caused more than 1,000 collisions, which included 2 fatalities and a traffic jam involving more than 100 vehicles. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein said during a press conference Sunday. The historic amount of snow also caused more than 10,000 power outages across the state. Stein said roads remain dangerous and likely will be bad for days to come. Said for your own safety and for the safety of the people clearing the roads, please stay at home if you possibly can. Stein said, this is no joke. Some cities in North Carolina experienced the heaviest snowfall in decades while still recovering from last week's storm. Said there are significantly more vehicles on the roads this weekend compared to last, said State Transportation Secretary Daniel Johnson. Said because of that, we've seen several roadway incidents across the state that were completely preventable. Yeah, and not only could a lot of people have stayed home, but chose to go out on the road anyway. Well, the Lord put the Spirit on them to go out, and then they end up getting into these car crashes because people don't drive properly in this kind of weather. The roads are either snowy or icy. You know, people's tires don't have that much traction, and then you have to also deal with the frigid weather. You know, and these people, they still drive at regular speed instead of driving slower. So then when people have to slow down or stop, they can't because they don't have enough traction, and next thing you know, they're just sliding into each other, and it turns into a roadway of bumper cars. You know, people will go flying down the highway at like 60 or 70 miles an hour, and then they can't slow down when they need to. And either they slam right into someone or something, or they go spinning out of control off the road, you know. Because a lot of people, they're just not, they don't move smart, you know. That's why, you know, is it the governor? Yeah, the governor is telling people, like, yo, stay home. A lot of people don't have to leave the house, but they choose to leave. They choose to go outside. And it's like, okay, you can do that, but, you know, if anything happens, that's on you, because, you know, you didn't didn't have to be out there. But then again, you did because the Lord put the Spirit on you to be out there so that you could get judged. Psalms 9:16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah, so these snowstorms that resulted in these frigid temperatures, power outages, these car crashes, people have died. People have lost their homes because the power went out and they had no heat. So then they tried to plug in a space heater or use some other way of, heating their house and being able to see. And whatever they used started a fire and they ended up losing their home. And a lot of these shelters are, kind of packed. So these shelters, they can't keep adding more people. They're at their capacity. So all of this is judgment. The deaths, the house fires, the power outages, the frigid temperatures, the snow, the ice. All of this is the Heavenly Father Yahweh's judgment upon these wicked cities and these wicked people. Psalm 7 and 11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And that's why so many bad things keep happening to people. Because that's the Lord's anger being brought upon them. Because these people are wicked and they're daily provoking the Lord unto wrath. So now they gotta get punished for that. Baruch 4:32. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And these cities are miserable. Like I said, the power outages, the snow, the ice, the frigid temperatures, people's flights constantly getting delayed or having to be canceled altogether, people being stranded in the airport for days on end. Roadways having to get shut down because of the icy road conditions or because there's been a 7-car pileup because people don't know how to drive in this kind of weather. And what people don't understand is that this sort of thing is just going to get worse. The temperatures are going to get colder. The storms are going to get more intense. The power outages are going to last longer. Because this is the Heavenly Father's judgment upon this wicked place. And those of us of the hopeful elect, in particular the men of the Lord, have, starting of course with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been warning people that these times were going to come. But nobody wants to listen. Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And you look up the definition of prudent, it means wise, it means cautious. And that's those of us of the hopeful elect. Through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're wise and we're cautious, and we don't take risks, compared to, these simple-minded people who, just don't have any care in the world. They get told to stay home. They want to go outside. They get told, hey, if the power goes out, don't light candles or anything like that because that could start a fire. They still do it. Next thing you know, their house burns down. It's like these people, they don't listen. And because they don't listen, they keep getting themselves caught up. They have nobody to blame but themselves. And because we are in the beginnings of Jacob's trouble, things are just going to intensify and get worse. And the Lord is going to put many great miseries upon these people. Like it says in 2 Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And Proverbs 16:18 says, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. That's why America's getting hit so hard with all of these judgments, because the citizens of America are some of the proudest people on earth for no reason. They have no reason to have all of this pride, and yet they do. And that pride is going before their destruction. Like, look at what the Lord is doing to these people on a daily basis. People getting stabbed up, shot up, getting into car crashes, freezing to death. Like, it's just one thing after another. These people are being punished for being wicked. For being wicked, for being reckless, for being careless, for being foolish, for being simple. There's nothing you can do to help these people, The Lord, He's already marked these people for death. They're goners. There's nothing you can do except don't be like them, Just stay locked into these scriptures, stay fervent, stay diligent, stay prayed up, stay locked in. That's the best you can do. Those whom the Lord wants to save, He'll save. And those who He wants to destroy, they're going to be destroyed. It's completely out of our hands. But before winter is over, these storms are going to get a lot worse. The weather, the temperature is going to get a lot worse. More people are going to be put in the spirit world. And then if we make it to the summer, I can almost guarantee that the heat waves are going to be crazy. The wildfires are going to be crazy. It's just, I mean, these are just signs of the times, signs of the last days, perilous times. Like it says in 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. These historic snowstorms, historic temperatures. That's just some of the peril, some of the danger, some of the hazards that we should expect a lot more of in these last days. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, the water Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Atazah. Till next time, shalom.